Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to make these different roofs and also all the way down here a little more complicated house trim and a pool. And so just fast forward to the part that you think would be helpful for you. Okay, so first off, I'll just measure this house quick. This is 20 by 20. So what I can do there is I can actually reference that point, click here, and actually you can reference even here and wait until it says square. It should actually, if it doesn't actually snap to it, you can also just type in 20 foot, enter, and then we got it. All right, and then we got to find the midpoint. I find that easiest, so I'm going to just go across from corner to corner. It'll snap to the midpoint, little blue line, and I'll go up on blue, and I believe it's 8 foot. And then if I just connect the corners, it will, it will draw in the rest. And then after that, I'll just need to color it. So that's how we do that. Now, if you look at it, it should be exactly the same. All right. This one's a little more complicated. If you look, it's actually only slanted on the one side, and there it's not. So what I'm going to do is I need a 20 by 20 square again. And so 20 foot by 20 foot. Oop. You can see down in the right corner I messed up my dimensions there. So I got to make sure I do that right. Let's try it again. 20 foot by 20 feet. All right, and I know I got to go to the midpoint over here, so I'm just going to go to snap to the midpoint. I'm going to go up 10 feet on the blue axis. Make sure you're on the line tool, though. Make sure it's blue. There we go. 10. And then we just got to fill in from there. Just go to the corners with this. You're not going to need that line back there anymore, so you can just click on it and hit delete, or you can use your eraser tool. And then I know I need to come out on the green axis 10 more feet, so 10 foot, enter, and then connect the corners. And what I could have done is I could have pulled it to that distance. Now you can see this side filled in, but the other one didn't, so what's going on? This happens quite often. People just miss the mark, and if something's not filling in, it's because something's not truly touching where it needs to be. So if it's at its end point in there, I know I'm good then. So just make sure you're actually hitting those end points, and then we should be good. And if I look, I compare this, it looks like actually I went too high. And so what I believe I did is I ended up going 10 feet when it should have been 8. So you could grab the move tool and grab this corner. Oop. I could just grab this one line here, and I could just grab the center of it and move it down 2 feet. And that should give me my, there you go, there it is, it's right now. So that's one way you could fix it. So feel free to use that move tool the way you want. Now this one could be created in a lot of different ways. I'm going to show you one way. You could actually draw it on the side here and then pull it across. That would be just fine too. I know mine is actually 2 feet in, so if I start drawing a line, even if I'm not using a tape measure, I can type in 2 feet and it will go to that end point there. And I know I'm 2 feet along here as well. And see, it's actually when you're on the surface, see it says it'll be on the surface perpendicular to the edge, and it actually says that as well. And then I know I need to be on the blue axis, so and then I'll go up 4 feet. And then I can draw a box. So let's look at that. It looks like this. All right. So it's up actually. All right, and then let's just draw, let's go 2 feet, and I can make a box from there. 2 feet. Oops. And this last one, really I can reference that point as long as I go back to it, I'm good. All right. So it looks like that there. Okay. And then really I don't need this line anymore. And what I need to do is bring down these lines until it says on face. It's got to be blue and it's got to say on face. If it's not going to work out for you. Same thing in this. It'll say on face. Oop. See, I moved just a tiny bit. On face, and it's blue. And I can connect those corners. And you can see that it's filling in for me. So just got to make sure it's blue and on face. And it should be good then. So then I just got to fill in this back side. That gives me a square, and then I have this edge around it as well. And that's a little more complicated, but not too bad. So then I'm going to use my offset tool here on the top. And I'm just going to go in 4 inches. All right, and then for my kind of trim that goes around it, I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to use the arc tool. And I'm going to go down, let's say just 4 inches. And then I'm going to go out to a half circle. All right. And it'll kind of snap to that, and it actually says half circle right on it when you do it right. If you look, there it is. That's what it should look like. And then what I can do is I'm going to use my follow me tool. I'm going to click on this and just go along the edge here. And now when you get close to this edge, it's going to start disappearing, but as long as you finish it up, it fills in the rest for you. All right, and then this square part, I just need to take that and I'm just going to pull it down to this distance right here. So that way it's pretty much out of there. All right, there. And then you need to color it in. Now, you'll notice this, this color isn't necessarily available. When I go to color it, the color palette comes up. I'm going to go to roofing, and they have this roofing shingles. Now, you actually have to first place it in there like this, but I don't actually want it to look like that. So I go to edit here, and you can change the size of the shingles, but you can also change the color. So I can just go in here and kind of change the color to the way I want. It's kind of like a bluish color, and then I can turn down, you know, the color of it right here too. So, you know, whatever, just get something close to it. You can actually also change the size, but we'll do that later on. So I'm just going to close it out, and there we go. And then I want to color this in too. You can do that yourself. Okay, this actually works from this one. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to triple select this. All right, I'm going to copy it. All right, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to actually give myself some room. But what I want to do is I want to rotate this around. So I'm going to grab my rotation tool. I'm going to grab a flat surface such as the top. It'll be blue if I did it right, and I'll turn this around. Now, if I'm getting in the way of this, really I could rotate it anywhere. As long as I'm triple select, I can click here even, and click here, and then I can just flip around the whole thing too. I don't actually have to click on the actual object. So I go 180 degrees, there we go. And then I'm just gonna line this one up, this corner to this corner, and then I'm just gonna move out a little bit to give myself some room. All right, there we go. So this is actually the same thing as that, so, all right. Then what I'm gonna do is, I can't remember exactly how I drew this, but it's not really, it doesn't really make a difference. I just want you to kind of know a different way of doing it. So I'm going to go up 4 feet, and I'm going to down to the corners. Okay, same thing over here. And if we look at this, so why is it doing it like that? Well, no, it is. It's fine now. Okay, and then I can just pull it out to this distance. But first, what I want to do is I want to get the face on here. So I'm going to actually come down. Gosh, maybe I'm going to try just 1 foot here. And if I want to go along this edge here, you see how it turns into this purple color again? I'm just going to continue that down until it's along the edge here. Find that right spot. And if it doesn't work for me, what I can do is I can also go in 1 foot along this edge. And you'll see this little green dot show up. And I could just connect to this point too. All right. But it should stay purple on the surface there. It just doesn't really want to do it for me. Really not a big deal though. And really there's lots of different ways you could do this. All right. So I don't actually want these intersecting lines right here, so let's get rid of these. All right, so this actually matches up pretty good with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this line up here as well, and I'm going to pull it out to the same distance as this one here. Actually, you know what? I need to pull it out farther. So I'm just going to do 1 foot. All right, because if you look at the back, actually this needs to be moved back some too. That's not a big deal. And then I'm going to pull this front out all the way to this distance here. Now see, sometimes it doesn't want to actually go that distance, so just pull it again and it'll go for you. And I don't need this surface anymore. That line's there because that's where that corner met up. But you know, as long as it's flat, you can delete that line and it should be just fine. Okay. And for this, what I can do is, I'll show you a different way I could have done this. I could have used the offset tool as well and just gone in 1 foot, right? And then what I can do is I can extend this line out here. So I click here and just keep extending it until it's on the surface here again. And I could do the same thing over here. And again, there's lots of different ways you could do it. This is just one way. All right, then I'm going to delete this surface right here, compare it to this one over here, and I'm going to push that one in again. So I'm going to click on that surface, use my push-pull, and I'm going to pull it into that distance right there. All right, pretty much exactly the same. All right, now this thing gets a little more complicated. All right, I'm going to show you how you can draw yours, but if you look at it, you can measure some things out. You know, this distance to the center is 1 foot 1 inch. So really it's from here to here, it's 1 foot, here to here, it's 1 foot, and then it's 1 inch trim all the way around. So we'll go ahead and try that. And pretty much it's a half circle. All right. So let's try it over here. Again, I'm going to find the midpoint. It's right there. And I'm going to go up, let's just say 8 inches. All right. And I need to go in 1 foot in each direction. And I'm going to go 1 foot in this direction as well. Great. And I'm going to grab the arc tool, click once, click again, go to where it says half circle, golden. All right, and then what I want to do is I'm going to delete this line here, but then I'm going to use the offset tool, and instead of going in with it, I'm going to go out with it 1 inch. There we go. And then I can just start drawing from the center point. If you look at the one I created earlier, I actually split the difference in this first part that's straight. It's actually straight right here. So I can split that difference again on this. Even though it's a half circle, or it's an arc, it doesn't actually completely, it's not really a circle. It still has flat points in there. So I'm going to go here. And you can kind of see I'm just actually going to all of those corners. All right, and this one I split in half, which really confuses some people. It really shouldn't be that confusing though. Again, I'm just going back to the starting point. I'm connecting all green because that's the end points, and then only this one am I going midpoint. Okay. All right, so it should look pretty good. Should look like that. I can pull this out just 1 inch. All right, and then I'm gonna just do that with every other. So I'm gonna pull this one out, and sometimes I don't want to pull the first time. You gotta do it twice sometimes. All right, I'm just gonna pull these out to that same height there. See? And now with coloring, I'm going to show you a trick. When you color stuff, I'm going to go to wood here. And let's just say it doesn't really matter which one you grab. I'm going to grab this one right here. I could go through and actually try to get every single little surface inside and out. And it actually take, it wouldn't take that long, but there's a lot faster way. So I'm going to select all of it by clicking like this. All right, left to right. If I go right to left, it actually grabs everything touching. I don't want to do that. I just want to do everything that's included in the box. So I'm going to go like this, all of it's selected. And then when I go to color, it's going to get all of it, which is great. But then I need just to go back and get the translucent, sorry, and do the glass on these surfaces here. There we go. And I can see through it still, and I can see the other side, and it looks fabulous. All right, so there you go. That's probably the most difficult one. So if you can do that, you can do all. Sorry about that, just had to pause it for a minute. This one, all you really need to do, if you look at it, if you try drawing some squares on it, you can actually get the dimensions. So if I draw this square right here, you can see it's 40 by 20. Okay, if I have that, and then it's just arc, and then I go in, looks like 10 feet, another half circle, and then you just connect the points. If you can do the other ones, you can do this one just fine. This one, you can see I already started it. All I'm doing is making a pillar. Just delete the circles and pull it up to that same height. Okay. The last two is the ones people get tripped up on more than anything. So let's start with, I'm not sure which one's easier. Let's start with the house. Let's just do these in order. So let's measure a few things out quick. So let's see how long this thing is. 20 feet, and I believe everything's really I try to keep just simple numbers. Looks like this is 10 feet. Okay, good. We'll say 20 feet by 10 feet. So I'm just going to go over here and draw some rectangles to start with. So 20 feet by 20 feet. All right. No, that can't be right. I'm only 10 feet wide. What am I doing? So I can just take that move tool and move this side in 10 feet. I can just type in 10 foot and go like that. All right. And I can just bring this one up 10 feet. And really, if I want that exact same thing, I can just triple select this bad boy and go to my move tool and then start moving it and tap control, and it gives me another one. All right. I just need to rotate this one around, so I can click on the surface, click once, click again off to the side, and do it in 90 degrees. There we go. And I'm going to use my move tool again by grabbing the corner, grab it over to this corner, and I'm good there. Okay, cool. Now for the roofs. Now, we'll do just one side first. Find the midpoint. We'll go up 8 foot. Okay, and then connect down these corners, which is super simple. And there's lots of different ways. I can go across the top and pull it, or I can just delete that and pull it across like this. Okay, that's one way. Now, connecting these roofs really screws a lot of people up. Okay, they try doing some weird things, like trying to find a point here and bring it across. again, always a lot of ways of doing it, but I'm just going to do 8 foot up. And I'm going to do it kind of like the same one I just did there. Now, really what I can do, there's 2 different ways. I could just take this and pull it across. But then like people like get real sloppy and they just leave stuff like this, right? So instead, when you pull it across, make sure you pull it all the way across so it's actually touching the top there. That's one very simple way to do it. Or another way would be to draw this line, keep it on the red axis until it's on the edge, right there. Oop, I missed it. Got to be very careful. It's got to be red and say on the edge, and then I can come down and actually connect these lines, and then it fills in as well. All right. Now, if you look on the back side of this house, it's empty. Well, if that ever happens to you, when you push pull and stuff like that, it's not a big deal. You can just draw a line anywhere on that flat surface, and it'll fill in. Then I just need to click on that little line right there, hit delete, and I'm golden. All right. Okay, so that's that with that. Now I got to worry about the bottom side. So I'm going to flip around here, and I'm going to delete this bottom line here. Is that going to work for me? Yep, it is. Good. And then we use my offset tool, click once, and then I'm going to go outward, just like, let's say 6 inches. And I can just pull that up a foot. And sometimes you have to click the surface, otherwise it gets a little confused. And I'm going to drag that up, and I can just type in 1 foot. Gives me my trim all the way around, right? All right, pretty good. Now this window, don't get too tripped up by this. It's not that confusing, really. So I'm going to find the midpoint here, go up 1 foot. Everything should be measured because that's the way to do things. And I'm going to go over 2 feet each direction. Or what I can do is just draw from here to here. And that way I can just type in, 4 foot by 4 foot. Puts it in there for me. Okay, so that's my window. Gosh, it doesn't look the same as the other one, does it? Oh, maybe it is. Okay, whoa, careful. If you ever get lost in somewhere, by the way, press this little button right here. It'll let you, it zooms to extent, so it lets you see the edges of all drawings that you have open. Okay, all right, so for this, gosh, I can't remember exactly what the other one looks like, so let's look at it quick. So it looks like it kind of curves in and stuff, and I'm going to actually delete the surface so I can see it a little bit. And if I look, see, it's kind of curved once, curved again. All right, I think I got it. So what I can do on this one here is I'm going to just draw straight up. Let's just say 2 inches. Draw straight out on the green axis, 2 inches. And yeah, I mean, I'll go here as well and just go 1 inch now. All right, and then I just got to create some curves. So I'm going to curve this, and like you can decide how you want yours. I'm going to actually curve mine like that and go here, and I'm going to actually curve outward like that. Okay, and I might have actually had a curve on the top too. It doesn't really matter as long as you try something out. All right, so you get some sort of shape like this. You can decide if you want yours to look like that or not. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on this surface and then click the Follow Me tool. I'm just going to click on that once, and it's going to go around the edges. So that's that. All right, and for the last one, I know this video is getting kind of long, but that's all right. Onto the pool. Okay, so the pool is really not that bad. I'm going to actually just draw some, I'm just going to get about this shape. You don't have to be real exact. And then when you use I use my arc tool here for this part. So I'm just going to kind of arc it out here and go to that spot. Keep it blue there. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Click once, and I'm going to go down to like this area. I'm going to kind of go out in this direction. And you just want to make sure it's flat. Okay. Now if I look at mine, something's wrong. Wah, wah. It looked like it was going to be about the same, but it wasn't. I wasn't paying attention to where I was at. So this one's flat. I know I'm good there. So let's just make sure I do this right. So I'm going to go here again, and let's see if that's right. There we go. Good. And go here to here, and I'm going to keep it blue. There you go. Great. And you can see what I'm going to do then is go outward with it, and I'm just going to say 2 feet. All right. And that looks pretty good. And then I just need to drop this bottom down. I'm going to say 6 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet, who knows. Not a big deal. And you can see I got some stairs in there. So I can do some half circles. So arc, arc, half circle there. And I'm not going to measure these. You probably should. You want actually something symmetric, but I just want to rush this along now, so I'm just going to go a little faster here. And I can pull these up. And I'm not going to pull them up all the way. Again, you'll measure yours, but that's how you could do it. All right. And then I need to color everything in, and you would do that. Now, after all your tiles colored in, and you can see what I did is when I went to tiling, I grabbed this tile here, and I painted it, but it doesn't look like it, right? Again, I'm going to go to edit, though. And instead of 1 foot, I'm going to change that to 10 foot. Ah, there we are. And then you could change the color of it again too. So I can like go a little more blue or something like that and maybe make it a little brighter. And then the water surface is a little bit different. Okay, what I did with that is I can go from one point to another, kind of closes it off again. I'm going to delete that line, and I'm going to drop it down just a little bit. Okay? And then I'm going to go back to select, go to my translucent, grab, there's this water looking one I thought. Oh, here's water. And pick this one, and I can click on top, and there you go. So that's how you create those things. Hope you had fun doing this. If you didn't get anything, just rewind it. I hope you enjoyed it, though.